Hello guys, we are Team Simplifiers and we have built HR Simplifier, which eases the hiring process of any organization using large language models. Let me walk you through a typical journey of a job application requirement in an organization, and we'll take a look at how HR Simplifier actually simplifies things. This is the hiring manager's view. Here, there are requirements to be posted. Here, in this case, we have a backend requirement for 5 engineers for a 0 to 3 years of experience bracket. Once the requirement is submitted to the HR can log into the HR Simplifier portal and take a look at all the requirements that are posted. In this case, some of the requirement which was posted a while back is seen here. Notification is received in the portal itself. The HR can go ahead and proceed with the job application. In this case, generating a job description is important. This job description is posted on career portals, LinkedIn, and any other sources wherein candidates apply to this particular job. Now, you can always have companies always have a choice to upload their existing job description and submit it, but that is no fun. Here we take a look at how the portal actually auto generates the job description to fit the hiring manager's requirement. In this case, the SD1 backend requirement is presented in a well formatted manner to the HR. The HR can always make some tweaks to this and make a submission. In this case, there are specific things where the model does not recognize, and that has to be manually inputted. Here, once the HR submits this, the job description is now uploaded, and now the job requirement is backed with the job description. Now consider the fact the job description goes to various portals, LinkedIn, and candidates apply to it. The major problem which comes is after that. There are many candidates who actually apply. Now in this case, the SD1 backend is a generic profile, and there are some candidates who were hired previously to this. The requirement just got incremented with the new one. Now, considering this, there are some applications which are currently in hired and rejected state, which are the older applications. But now HR has to look at all the applications that are newly added. In this case, the HR can sort the applications by their type, which is by resume screening. They mean they are just applied, the candidates have applied today, and these candidates have to be processed. Now here comes the pain point. HR has to manually process these resumes, and all of them have a different format. What we do here is, in the resume screening tab, you can see there are the candidates who are in the resume screening. In this case, resume screening status are seen here, and all the candidates at various stages of the applications are easily can be filtered above. Now you can see there are some candidates, and the HR can take a look at resumes manually. But here is the interesting part. We calculate a confidence score. How is this calculated? This is basically of all the resumes that are submitted. We extract features like years of experience, the companies the candidates have worked at, skills, their career gap, and most importantly, how well suited are they to this particular job description that was generated some time back. If you take a look at some of these candidates, they have a good score. Greater than 75% is considered a very good score. Some candidates are doing better. In this case, these candidates can be fast forwarded. The major pain point is solved. In this case, there's an interesting point to note for the last candidate. Here the candidate has mistakenly applied for an Android role. He has a experience of being an SD3 at a good organization. You can take a look at the resume as well. In this case, the resume says it is a SD3 Android profile, but he has applied to a backend role. So we don't want to miss out on candidates, and our model actually helps HR to move these candidates around. In other cases, they might have been discarded by the ATS. We can there is an active, and this happens only when there is a active matching role. This is a common scenario when there are full stack roles, SRE roles. In such cases, this becomes the various tech stack or skills that the candidates have at an organization might not be a perfect fit to an SRE full stack or a front end role. In this case, this becomes an important feature to move around candidates so that you don't miss out on good candidates. So in this case, we move the candidate to some other role. The candidates gets moved. If you take a look at the requirements of the SD to Android profile, here Ishwar gets a chance. In other cases, he might have missed out on. We continue on the backend SD1 hiring journey, and the cases, the other cases wherein we have a good match, we can move those candidates forward. Now take a look at the diversity and inclusion filter. This is a very important filter in terms of how companies and organizations approach diversity candidates. In this case, the confidence score by default does not consider the fact of diversity and inclusion, just to be fair with other candidates. In cases wherein there is a specific requirement of diversity for a particular role, the toggle actually takes care of adjusting the confidence for the diversity defined candidates. In this case, the third candidate, which is a female candidate, actually when diversity inclusion filter is applied, the confidence score gets adjusted accordingly. Now the HR can also look at all those, sort those by confidence score, and move all of them in bulk. So this saves a lot of manual work. In this case, when we move the candidates to the screening round is basically the round wherein the candidate's resume, the candidate's experience is clarified a bit. This round it has a great scope of automation, and we have done just that. In this case, if you take a look at some of the candidates, and the major scope is generating the questions based on their profile. Now, how was the confidence being going into the depth of how was the confidence score calculated? We had taken out the features of the resume, which are which might be years of experience, their current companies, their career gaps, their skill set. All those things were matched with the job description, and they were fine-tuned on the BART model, which is a large language model provided by Facebook, and fine-tuned on this particular data set. So this is a custom trained, fine-tuned model, zero shot classification model to be precise, to get a confidence score. We actually use this zero shot classification model to get the confidence score at other places as well. We'll take a look at in some time. Now, consider the first candidate. We want to generate questions for that candidate. In the meanwhile, the candidate is actually regularly notified of the process. And now that if you see the first candidate, I'm showing the sample mail of the first candidate. The candidate was moved to the next round, which is the screening round. Now the screening round can be typically done in two ways. One is a textual format round, wherein the questions that are generated, the candidate can attempt those in a textual format. Like for example, if the HR visits this profile, this is the career graph of the profile that we are showing. We are also now the HR wants to view the current status of the current application status for this particular job profile, and view this. So the candidate is in the screening video round, and there are two ways in which the screening round, the questions that are generated by the so the features that were extracted by the first model are taken into consideration to generate questions for the next round. And in this case, if you remember, the candidate was a 90% fit. In this case, the questions are more oriented towards how the current role, the candidate actually has to upskill to get a better current role. In this case, the questions are more oriented towards how, what was the technical impact and projects, and in terms of how well he is in collaboration, as against to the last round wherein a bunch of features were considered. Now the candidate can, based on the mail, the candidate can take this as a in a textual format, or as more of the industry prefers, take this in a visual format. The textual format basically is a simple, the questions that were generated in the textual format actually goes to the candidate, and candidates attempts these questions and submits them. So I can actually go ahead and submit this, but this is not the traditional way or the normal industry way of doing things. The major benefit that we as a platform provide is the ability for HR to actually screen these candidates using the traditional video round, which is the once the candidate attempts the video interview. So we also have a video integration done. A video integration is done using DITE, and we actually get the data. Actually, can the candidate can actually attempt this inside the platform itself. This is a add-on feature. You don't the entire stakeholders, be it hiring manager, be it HR, be it the candidate, they never leave the platform. This is a specialty of the platform, and all the data, since this data is going to be used to train the LLM, it is very important it does not leave the system. So if you take a look at the interview video interview integration solution that we have built, this is actually a video integration solution wherein this can be used to train other aspects of the product. I'll just skip this video interview part. But looking at the how would the evaluation be done for this? So the interview that the candidate just attempted, we can actually fetch the video information, but in most cases, if the candidate does not, if the companies try to use their own traditional way of doing things, there is Google Meet, and we have done a Google Meet integration wherein you upload the Meet recordings, and these Meet recordings are parsed using the Whisper API, which is OpenAI's video processing API, to get the answers. So I have a video ready of myself taking the first question of the round. I'll just fast forward it to just show it to you. This is the first question that was generated. I will be answering the first question that was generated by the model, and we will feed it to the transcribe API or the Whisper API, which can give us textual output. The textual output will then be fed to the confidence score model, which is custom trained on the question answer dataset. So I'll just I'll just quickly show you the video.
So why did you choose to become a backend developer? When you work as a backend developer, you encounter all kinds of third-party applications and codes that might be implemented and work for the creator. With dozens of programming languages out there, you never know what the next challenge is.
So here I answered the first question. Now I have the so since I have taken, assuming I've taken the entire interview, I'll show you the sample of the first question and answer that I gave, and how it is transcribed using the Whisper API. So once the video is uploaded, it would basically parse through the answers that I have given and calculate a confidence score, which will actually help the HR take an informed decision. So in this case, the video parsing is complete. So I was asked, why did you choose a career in backend development? And I have answered this: when you work as a backend developer, so it basically pass the audio information out of it, and then there are some answers that I have taken from the test. So it can also happen in the cases wherein you take some answers in a video format, some in a textual format, and basically based on the answers that we have chosen, we fed it to a model and get a confidence score. In this case, we have a confidence score which is tending towards 70% or in the green lines, and which can help the HR take the decision. So in this case, we'll go back to the requirements tab, and the HR can move this candidate to a better to the next round because he had performed better in this round. In this particular round, this is the first candidate who had taken this interview, and the HR can move him to the next round. In this way, the entire application is designed in a way to be user friendly. User experience is of top notch quality, and in this case, if you take a look at how this is managed in one single view, taking into consideration various aspects of UX design. Here the HR has to never leave the portal, and considering the next profile, I'll just take a look at the next profile in the screening round. In this case, we'll go to the next profile and take a look at the information that was presented in as in the previous case. We have information of the candidate, and again we can view the status. In this case, if you see, there are different questions generated based on the AI profile. So the candidate had a AI ML background, and there are questions generated as the candidate had an internship experience. The questions are more inclined towards that. Also, this is a bit of a junior candidate, and also there is a gap in his employment history. So these questions come part of screening round, and the considerations of the various factors that I mentioned come handy in this case. So I just wanted to show you how different questions are generated for this candidate based on how his resume looks like, how his profile looks like. I'll just show you the candidate once more to take a look at. He is indeed, we'll take a look at his resume to check if indeed there is a gap that the model detected. So in this case, if you look at the candidate has a gap of almost 8 months after last he had left his last job at Jan 2023, and that is why the model has asked him a question, and based on some satisfactory answer, the HR can actually take a call on whether to move the candidate or not. We can actually move the candidate to the hiring view. So once all the rounds are done, all these rounds would be video interview rounds, and there would be feedback that would be collated by the hiring manager, and then a hire or no hire call would be taken. In this case, the HR never leaves the portal. Also, there are helpful remarks at various points. Now, coming to the interesting, one of the most interesting aspects of this, you can take a look at how the candidate, how any of the information that is contained in this entire portal can be used to train a GPT model, as in a simple GPT model based on the data which was inside this, to ask so that the HR asks some pointed questions, so that as the information grows in this portal, he or she can actually be easy. It would be easy to navigate. In this case, I would just ask a simple question: what was the status of Nikhil's? What is the current status of Nikhil's profile? And the GPT, based on some of the training it has already got, the GPT answers the candidate is in the screening round, that is uh, the uh, demo of the entire application, and this is the entire workflow of the application. Thank you so much.